No, I would.
And then your blanket apology, you're just going to stand there up on the podium and go, you know what? We're sorry. You know,
yeah, but listen.
We didn't mean to. We didn't want to show you that how the sun sets twice on Japan.
You called me Mussolini. How cool would it be if you said, "Listen, I apologize for all the stuff we've done. Now we're going to come back and try to figure out the founding fathers, Thomas Paine especially, of course, the key founding father, because nobody's read
founding father."
Of course.
Actually, hold on. Thomas
Paine, of course.
Mark.
You know that.
Mark, shut the fuck up. The fuck are you doing? You just said something. You said nobody's read Thomas Paine. I literally had a Thomas Paine book club on this app, and we went through Age of Reason. We went through Common Sense. I mean, like, what are you even talking about?
You didn't invite me? Wait.
You might not have been on the app at the time. This was back in 2022.
Probably. Well, next time you do it, you need to have me on the app with you.
Yeah, it was a fun
Are you the authority on all Thomas Paine? No one else can have this?
I'm his person that is resurrecting him to the founding father, the founding
You know,
father.
Mark, I asked you about the debt and what you would do to address the debt, but let me ask a different question. Does anybody here have any revenue ideas or business ideas that America could get involved in to generate more income and more revenue?
About everything American. You ever hear the Venus Project or the Zeitgeist Movement, Free World Charter, American? I know you haven't because you're so trapped in this nasty system that's destined to fail. It's destined to fail.
Wait, hold on. It sounds like both of you reject the current system, but you just have different ideas of what that would look like. Why be so adversarial with each other? Why don't you guys just have a calm, collected conversation about it?
I'm hip to that.
Yeah.
All right.
But American was in the last room that I was in.
Yeah, no, he could be a little trollish, but the question he asked I thought was a fair one. You know, if you were king for a day and you could make these changes, like what would you do that would reduce spend? What would you do that would reduce spending, that would reduce the debt, and would make Americans more prosperous? Like, what are your ideas?
Yeah, thank you. First of all, we're getting ready to get into where AI is going to be taking many of the jobs, right? So we have to know that that's a fact. Not just blue-collar workers, white-collar workers, jobs will be gone. These people are going to wonder what to do next. In a job where no matter how you figure it out, AI is going to do it better than you. And a corporate entity is going to always hire AI. Always. Because you know why? They do it far better.
So that doesn't answer any of the fucking questions.
But how do we make money if money is the standard? How do we make money at it? Maybe money doesn't need to be the standard. Could you imagine that? What if we could all figure out the equal standard of living, where everybody has food, shelter, and clothing? What if we could figure that out? What if you didn't need as much? What if all people need, the youth I think are getting this anyway, is just information, where you can get the information and be able to walk the planet peacefully, no matter where you go on planet Earth.
Schools that already, you haven't even answered the basic question, but we already have that system. It's called schools, high school, college, elementary school. You have pre-K. You have tutors. You have other institutes.
Brad, if everybody understood that information is at the click of the button, all these executive type school board people, we don't need to pay them anymore. They're gone. Bye-bye. You know why? Because I can get information at the click of a button. I don't need any of this bureaucracy bullshit. How cool would that be?
Yeah, that's actually deep what you're saying, because you're on point with that actually, because everybody's teaching in some way. If you're doing something, you make a proclamation, you're teaching. If you do something over and over again, you're teaching in that way. There's so many things that people are teaching that without even being asked to teach. So everything that you do is a teaching point, and everything that you say is a teaching, is a proclamation, is preaching and teaching. So like, yeah, that does make sense, bro. Like if we can like figure out stuff from there, that does make
Young,
sense.
let me ask you a question, and Mark, too. You know, what is the difference between subjective and objective? Can anyone tell me maybe what the difference is between objective and subjective, or subjective, objective? Anyone?
Hold on, Bill Gates tried to be obsolete until
Objective is based on facts. Subjective is based on opinions and feelings.
Whoa, he just jumped on my chest. Okay, no. So he asked for his opinion, and you shouldn't be offended unless you think that your opinion doesn't matter, right? And I think that's not the case. And I think we should learn the unity. How do you deal with diversity? Because America, we haven't dealt with diversity as good as in the past or whatever, but we have today in a sense, right? But sometimes so this is what I'm saying. School of thoughts. Okay, how do we deal with somebody that has the opposite opinion as me? If you look at those private societies, right? Like what I was mentioning earlier.
The private society. Young, what's the difference between objective and subjective?
America. I'm not attacking any.
Wait, hold on, guys. Hold on.
Let me say what I'm saying.
Hold on.
See, look, it's always the ones who actually.
Hold on. What question are you asking, American? Are you asking just the definition of subjective or objective?
I'm asking what's.
Well, hold on. Are we referring to objective reality? Are we talking about objective morality? Like, what are we trying to get at?
I'm trying to get at that the objective is more important than the subjective stuff in the real world, like my refrigerator full of stuff, my house full of stuff, my car full of stuff. The object is better than the subject. So all I'm trying to point out is that, we are once again deflected and we are not focused on the problem, which is the debt.
Hold on. And Young, I'll call on you when I'm ready for you. Mark, I'll call on you when I'm ready for you. Mark, I'll call on you. Mark and Young, I'll call on you when I'm ready for you. I promise. Okay. Is there anyone on this stage that believes that reality is subjective?
I feel like you're practicing something on us.
I'm just curious if you think that reality is subjective or objective.
I think that the publishing industry is subjective. I mean, you can't have one without the other. Without subjective, it's so boring. There's no content. So I'm just saying.
This is true, but here's the thing. I think when people talk about this subjective reality, I don't think they're really even thinking about what these things mean. I mean, to be objectively real, it means that it exists without observation. And so if somebody believes that reality is subjective, then that would mean that if they're not looking at a tree, that the tree isn't there.
Yeah, I don't believe that definition is right, what you said.
So you believe it's objective or subjective?
Reality is subjective once someone else is involved. When it's one person, it is. If it's the author of everything, then it is objective. You have the objective, which is like, what is the goal? What is your plan for everything of what you created? You have dominion over it, and it's objective from the beginning. When you involve another person, then it becomes subjective. Stuff like that. So
wait, if the Federal Reserve is the Federal Reserve a subjective organization or an objective organization?
Subjective.
So if you believe in infinite linear growth of debt, you're a subjectivist, correct?
Yeah, I would still say, yeah, you're still part of the bigger. You're not, even though you believe in infinite, doesn't mean that you are the infinite. So therefore, yeah, you still believe in it, in infinite resources and all that stuff like that. Doesn't mean you're the infinite, which could make you the objective.
Okay, yeah. One more final question for you. Let me ask it. What's 100 times 1,000, Young? What's 100 times 1,000? Go ahead. What's the answer?
I don't even know. Even though I'm not even gonna give it too much thought because I wasn't even good at math. But I would know it, like if I actually challenge myself to do it. But I'm not even in that mode right now.
Actually, the answer is in the question itself.
Okay, so Mark, let me ask you, Mark, what is 100 times 1,000? Go ahead, Mark. 100 times 1,000.
I wanted to say 1,000,000.
Yeah, I want to say
100,000.
That's what I wanted to say initially, but I'm not good at math.
Oh, hold on. Listen, no, everyone mute up. If you have 1,000 and you multiply it by 100, you have 100,000. That's 100,000. This is not hard stuff.
That's good. Yeah, it's just Appreciate that. But yeah, education system, right? If somebody would have taught that, I would have already knew that, right? But you got so many subjective educational systems, so it's like,
I'd
we
like
got
to
off topic for
propose.
that thing that I was mentioning earlier too. Crazy.
Why don't we make room for Dwight Young? He has not had a chance.
That was the goal.
He's not had a chance to speak yet. Let's hear from Dwight.
Thanks. Yeah, I think one solution I would propose, assuming that we're keeping kind of the main system in place and trying to reform it. I